World Road Racing Championships about to start for 1996. Queensland's Daryl Beattie will carry the number 2 plate into the 500cc title chase. Beattie rose to prominence racing in the Australian 250 Grand Prix class in the late 80s. This week, Speed Week caught up with Beattie for an insight into the upcoming season. That interview coming up a little later in the program. Meantime, let's take a look at one of Beattie's dominant performances that led to his current status. The date, 1989. The venue, Lakeside Raceway. Your commentators are Will Hagan and the late, great Greg Hansford.
And green flag again, 15 laps now. So it's 36 kilometres. It's Jeffrey Sale again. And it is Daryl Beattie and 27 David Horton again. So nothing much changed in the first three. So racing side by side as they come round the straight. We see the field come onto the straight, the entire field. Daryl Beattie has taken the lead, and if you want him, Jeffrey Sale, you'd better get out after him, because he's looking a very determined and quick young man who's making very good use of this Honda RS. Some suggest that it's fairly close to what's called an NSR, which is a factory-equipped bike. An RS is the production thing as it comes off the line and that you can buy. NSR are the ones you can't buy, that really go hard and win races. Where are you? And I'm absolutely on your tail light if you had one, said Jeffrey Sale. And in fact, I'm thinking of going underneath you. And I think I'll do it. It seems Beattie seemed like a good idea, but Beattie prevails. Sale ranges up with him and has got plenty of his own pressure as Rene Bongers on 20, about 25 years old. Equal ninth in the championship, 21 points. Keeps them both well and truly in sight.
Jeffrey's certainly trying very hard. He's running up onto him going into the corners, and if both the bikes had the same amount of horsepower, Jeff should have been able to pass him down the straight that time, but all he could do was pull out of his slipstream and end up side by side.
Beattie at this stage is out in front by 7 points, 94 to Jeffrey Sale's 87. Jeffrey Sale coming down, sweeping out, and Beattie knows what he was going to do. Sweep out there and get a good racing line into the corner. Bongers looks at Beattie and thinks of creeping down the inside. This is a more determined effort by the two in company with Beattie, or is it a more relaxed approach to the race by Daryl Beattie?
Probably a bit of both, Will, but I'd say Jeffrey probably wouldn't have been able to get past Daryl, and Daryl made a bit of a mistake on the straight there and also had a look back. And
Horton, Whitehouse and David Moore, incidentally, 27, 72 and 31 of the bikes behind.
He slowed himself down by sticking the top half of his body out in the wind to have a look where Jeffrey was, and Jeffrey had another better run onto the straight and had a few miles an hour on him and got past him before the start-finish line.
All right, well, take it and tell us how you see it this time as they come onto the straight, a critical part of a quick lap.
Well, it's always easier when you're behind someone in front to gauge yourself, and Daryl's just done exactly the same thing to Jeff, and I'm sure Jeff will be able to do the same thing having in next lap.
Here's close company, and Bongers comes through second place. Jeffrey Sale leader to third in the space of one high speed kink on the straight. And David Horton on 27 saying, don't mind a bit of this, let's get among it. And that's Whitehouse, 72, third place in the championship at this stage, was on 49 points with his placing in the earlier race. He'd come up to 59 points. Actually, he dropped to fourth place in the championship, been overtaken by David Moore on 31, who'd come up to third. He now has 61 points. So Whitehouse will slip further. Beautiful here, Daryl Beattie and Rene Bongers. And here it is. There's Whitehouse, 72, off the top of the hill. Gas too early out of a fairly slow corner.
It looked like the front wheel came off the ground for a second and turned a bit sideways, and he went over the handlebars, sort of thing, which is not the best way to fall off a motorcycle.
6 completed now. And suddenly the rasp, down through the gearbox they go. Very, very busy.
This will make it hard for Jeff now with Bongers being in front of him and trying to stay in touch with Beattie.
up as Beattie powers the bike away. Probably 80 odd horsepower out of the little twin cylinder two-stroke. Awfully simple little motors. Of course, exactly the type of engine that Ralph Sarich is working on in WA, two-stroke rather than four-stroke. And Bongers down into the lead. Preferring that they try and tuck behind, barely got room for half a shin. As Bongers is being attacked by Daryl Beattie, who on 12 slices through into the lead. And Jeffrey Sale looks at Bongers and can't quite make it. And Jeffrey Sale tangled up by a back marker back there. David Horton's in there too, trying to get clear of it, and desperate to get back with this and to stay in the point score charge, chasing his 4th Australian Championship. Back with him, Bongers. He's going up the inside and he's got him. Force him out wide. You've got him. Yamaha Rene Bongers, number 20, back into the lead. Daryl Beattie, Honda number 12, back to second place. Still David Horton in third on 27, leading Jeffrey Sale, 4th place 10. Up, looping round the top now. Look at Beattie, look at Beattie. Oh, he's gone, Bongers. He's hung on to it. He's gone again. Well done, thank goodness, Rene Bongers. Well done, lad. So second place is better than off. And Daryl Beattie's got it. And well deserved too, as he goes to the checkered flag, winner of both heats on the day in the 250cc Shell Oils Australian Road Race Championship.
A young Daryl Beattie showing the form that has now carried him to the number 2 plate. And don't forget, Speed Week has an exclusive interview with Daryl a little later in the program.